Hi, everyone. This is Kristy Bird MaKieve, and I am recording an update on Healthy Rural California and Butte-Glenn Medical Society. Um, it is August 30th, and I happen to be in Chicago. In just a short while, we're going to have a graduate medical education for rural communities conference starting. So we flew in yesterday, Rachel Sanchez and Lena Benton and I. And we are excited to participate in this new program for grant recipients of the Teaching Health Center planning grant funds that we've received. We have now 2 federal grants, one for psychiatry and one for family medicine. And so we're really excited to connect with the ruralgme.org efforts. Our TAs have been fantastic and very, very helpful. So hi, it has, as usual, been a whirlwind of activity. I thought it was going to be a quiet summer and I could spend some time up in Tahoe, but I did, but it's also been a very whirlwind summer, my own doing, of course. So part of Healthy Rural California's 2 big pillars. One is supporting local coalitions, really great effort that may be new, may be ongoing, and just not typically having a funding mechanism or a formal 501c3 that's been created. That's what we originally founded Healthy Rural California to do, and that is still in progress. I'm very excited to say that Rachel Sanchez is being promoted to Director of Community Health, and she's going to be able to partner with everyone in the North State, and I'll have an update on that in a bit as well. What that means as we've expanded into 13 counties in Northern California through Butte-Glenn Medical Society. So back to Healthy Rural California and our graduate medical education work. So that has become this enormous effort. It is truly work of many people to actually establish graduate medical education in a rural area such as ours, where there's no large health systems, there's no medical schools nearby, there's no medical school with a hospital in the area that we're looking to center these graduate medical education programs. There's great support, and we have neighboring areas with medical education and large health systems. But in Butte County, Glenn County, and Tehama, the area that we're really trying to help address access to care, it's local independent hospitals doing fantastic work, but not necessarily resource heavy enough to do this graduate medical education work themselves. So we're really proud of Healthy Rural California and the work that we're doing. We have submitted we're learning so much about ACGME and the submission process for establishing new residency programs. So again, Healthy Rural California is accredited as a sponsoring institution by ACGME, and we have spent the last couple of weeks submitting a psychiatry residency, and that psychiatry residency has been evolving, especially the last 6 to 8 months. It's really gone into high gear in terms of developing the curriculum. It's a really strong and exciting curriculum. We have strong leadership with Dr. Sagu, who is the program director, and Dr. Rachel Mitchell, who is the associate program director. And that is, many, many months of discussions about how to strengthen our, not just the application, but the program itself, so that when our residents hopefully arrive in 2024 for psychiatry, we will be greeting them with a very strong and exciting curriculum from day one. So that application takes a while. We just found out we are not rural designated. Our clinical facilities that we've partnered with, there are 9 total with 7 different institutions, the VA of Northern California being 2 different site locations, but counting as one. program letter of agreement. Anyway, long, complicated story, and I won't bore you with the details, but we definitely had to figure out what this all means in order to submit this application. But because our clinical facilities are in cities that are not rural designated, even though they might be in a rural county, we will not be rural designated for psychiatry. You have to have at least 50% of your clinical facilities in a rural designated area. And that's, now we know, the cities, not just the counties. But it's okay. We have now the ability to submit the application for psychiatry to the review committee, and the team is hard at work actually here in Chicago and back in Northern California, trying to make sure that that goes through. There's some technical questions, just sort of things not appearing on the submission screen as we would make sense. So we're looking behind the scenes and trying to make sure that that gets submitted in time for the psychiatry review committee to assign site visits with us in the fall, and then get to the November deadline of having all of the application bits and pieces together, including the site visits, in order for the review committee to spend time reviewing the curriculum and making sure that we have submitted a good, solid academic foundation for the residency program. Meanwhile, we also got this grant for family medicine, and that was an exciting opportunity. We've been working on timelines and really trying to make sure that we are positioned to have the first cohort of family medicine residents starting in 2025. We had some really great, lovely words a couple of weeks ago that from the family medicine side, really innovative, and actually the word brilliant was used, that we are launching both psychiatry and family medicine, not at the same time, but like aligned and within the same sort of time frame. Hey, it's good to be back in the city, by the way, with the sirens going in the background. Sorry for any noise that comes up while I'm recording this. So family medicine, yeah, you know, when we've been thinking about family medicine, and we've been excited to think about it because our team has learned so much, and we feel really proud of what we've learned, and wanting to like start applying it for family medicine, and get the psychiatry application in. So to be aligned with psychiatry is amazing, and very forward thinking. Actually, wasn't really intended that way. Our area needs to have more psychiatrists, and we need more primary care physicians. And so those were the two residency programs that we focused on. We were also thinking of like an integrated behavioral health family medicine residency. So that was sort of our original thoughts. But come to find out, family medicine and psychiatry weaves together some really interesting curriculum that could be very exciting for our future residents. One of the things that we also did this past month was a 2-day retreat in Tahoe. We had the ability to carve out basically 2 days to just sit together and brainstorm and talk and connect. And I'm just going to pause there and say how important that is. And I think the pandemic really didn't provide those opportunities for people to just be together and sharing a meal or going on a hike, and as part team building. But for us, it really was the ability to just let our imagination go and really think about what we would like to see in this family medicine residency program. What reach for the stars. What should we be trying to do? And now that we know so much about building residency programs, how should we approach the family medicine one? It was a great retreat. I really want to thank the team. They presented me with an award that caught me by surprise. I still don't have the words for it. It means so much to me. There's oftentimes, many of us do work that's big thinking, out of the box, pushing boulders up mountains. And we do it because we're passionate about it, and we know that it's the right thing to do, and it's going to have a great impact. And it's not often that we get to be recognized for that. So I really thank the team. It's a really pretty award too. It's like clear. It's really, I don't have a very good photo of it to share, but I will definitely be sharing it in the future. I left it behind when I came to Chicago. I can't carry the award with me. It's a little bit cumbersome, but I would if I could. It really was wonderful. So the retreat enabled us to think about how to best structure this family medicine residency, but it also gave us the chance to ask the question, what more might be possible? We've also learned through this process that, it's very resource intensive to have residents. And in a GME naive area, you sort of have to find those resources, but also build them up. And so what, and for a local hospital to have residents come on board, you have to be very wary of triggering the cap. And the cap, for those who know, but for those who don't, there is a 5-year cap. So basically, from the minute a resident comes into a hospital and crosses the threshold, that triggers a 5-year clock. That means, if you only have that one resident who comes for 1 month, that may be in 5 years' time, all you will ever be allowed to have. That's some ancient rule that is well known in the GME community. But rather than being afraid of that cap, why not come together as a community and strategize how to, make sure that whatever resident comes in and triggers that cap, that everybody feels confident that we have done all that we possibly could to ensure that the cap for each of these independent hospitals in our area is going to be met. So that if you, as a local hospital, really want to have 500 residents, fantastic, but the reality is, for the local independent hospitals in our area, 10 might really be the maximum that makes sense, because it is incredibly resource intensive. When you have core faculty, and not all faculty are core faculty, but core faculty have to take about a half day a week to make sure that they are following up with the residents, teaching them, giving didactics, a host of different things, making sure that the residents have their milestones logged in MedHub. There's a whole bunch of steps that have to happen in order to maintain teaching residents. And I'm not trying to say this to scare folks, but I am trying to paint the picture of, what's real. To hear, recently had a conversation with Sutter Health in Roseville, and they had just started, they've been planning, but they had just started that 5-year launch, if you will, where they were bringing in several different new residency programs, and had a whole plan to get to 5 years and have all of the residents that they could possibly have. I'm forgetting the number, but it was a lot. It was 150 or something or more. They were well on that way. That, knowing what I know now, a smaller hospital, an ambulatory clinic, you're not going to have 150. You're going to have maybe 10, maybe 20. So I would much rather us all sit down and talk about that, rather than avoiding graduate medical education because you're worried about the cap. We need to have residents. Medical education is incredibly important for a community. It is one of the only ways to address access to care issues and a declining ability to recruit physicians to an area or even retain them. So let's talk about a strategy, right? Some of the things that our team brainstormed at the retreat last week was maybe a psychiatry fellowship so that our family medicine residents could add another year. And it's actually possible for them to do that fellowship during their second or third years, we found out. Don't hold me to that one, but so the second year of the family medicine program to add on the fellowship, but the third year for sure. How cool would that be? A family medicine residency with a psychiatry fellowship? That is some forward thinking stuff. That's awesome. We thought a lot about internal medicine. We definitely need more primary care physicians. There's only 20 internal medicine residencies in California. And there may be a reason for that. Again, that resource intensity, the need to meet a full curriculum for internal medicine as specified by ACGME and required for, a physician to go out into the world and practice independently in internal medicine. So we would love to do a feasibility study of our community to see what that, what's possible with that. And then found out recently about a wilderness medicine fellowship that the Plumas County area physicians are passionate about and doing a lot of great work in. And that seemed to excite the doctors I was talking to at the retreat. Wow, wilderness medicine. What a fantastic location, Northern California, to do wilderness medicine. So there's some, but beyond that, right? What could we actually support in the community? So it's a great question, and we need to keep talking about it. So yeah, family medicine. There's also some requirements in there that might not be met in our community of Butte County entirely, or Butte-Glenn and Tehama counties. So we're going to need to have many more conversations and a feasibility study of some kind this fall to really dive into what that would look like. So because I promised myself I would keep this short, I wanted to talk quickly about the medical societies in Northern California. So we have just formed a partnership with North Valley Medical Association in Redding. Super excited. Now that Butte-Glenn Medical Society has staff, Bridget McBride is the director. I'm still the executive director of Butte-Glenn Medical Society and will also be that for North Valley Medical Association, although I probably won't be paid for that work. BGMS will still be paying that part of my salary, but we have Miranda Taylor, an administrative assistant. We have Lisa Lee, who's doing a fantastic job with our websites and our social media and everything. So we have such a great team, and feel really, really proud that at this time we can say, yes, North Valley Medical Association, we can help you. So we're going to have a first board meeting on September 14th for North Valley Medical Association. We will keep them independent, and they support Shasta, Trinity, as well as Tehama and Siskiyou counties. And Tehama and Siskiyou counties are actually separate entities from North Valley Medical Association. And what that factors into is we're all part of the California Medical Association. And that means that they have 2 delegate seats for the CMA House of Delegates in Tehama County and 2 in Siskiyou County, as well as the 2 for North Valley Medical Association, which is the 501c6 designated for Shasta and Trinity counties. I know if for anyone who's not in the medical society world, that probably is a bunch of words that don't make sense, but it's actually very, very important. And it's very important for the physicians here in the North State, or there, I'm in Chicago at the moment, because the physician's voice for the particular needs of the physicians and healthcare in Northern California, their voice has sort of been drowned out by a very active, wonderful state of California. But when you have the powerhouse physicians, medical societies in LA or San Diego or San Francisco, Alameda, Contra Costa. They have hundreds and hundreds of physicians as members. That gives them many, many delegate seats. Even the Sierra Sacramento Valley Medical Society, hundreds and hundreds of members. And literally their voices drown out the physicians of Northern California. And so our goal is to strengthen the voice of physicians, strengthen North Valley Medical Association as a separate entity. So maybe it can get back on its feet and get some more sponsorship funding and non-dues revenue so that it can hire, their organization can hire a separate executive director sometime in the future. If Butte-Glenn Medical Society is that partner forevermore, fantastic. But our goal would be to see if we can find a way for NVMA to be back on its feet on its own. In addition, the non-represented counties, that we call them the Quad, they're in the northeast corner of the state, Lassen, Modoc, Plumas, and Sierra. These counties have maybe had a medical society. They must have, because Lassen has 2 delegate seats. And I don't think they would have been given delegate seats many, many years ago if they didn't have some sort of organized structure, local medical society representation. But as of this moment in August 2022, they have no physician members paid dues to CMA. They have no representation. Their delegate seats have remained empty for quite some time. And so we're going to bring them to the table, I would say. I was going to say adopt them, but that sounds maybe not the best word. But we're going to bring them to Butte-Glenn Medical Society and give them a seat at Butte-Glenn Medical Society and hope that a couple of physicians will join. Plumas is very close to Butte County. It shares a border. Sierra is also right there by Plumas. But it's a vast region. There's not a lot of doctors, but they do deserve to have a voice within the state, and that's our goal. More to come on that. We're going to have a meeting September 7th and really talk about what that means. I really thank Partnership Health Plan for their enthusiasm to have local medical society representation in these counties, and look forward to partnering with them in many ways we can. We're currently talking to Partnership Health Plan about possibly having an office space in Reading, which would help Bridget when she goes up there once a month to meet with doctors and do physician lounges and do events and things like that, and really keep their organization alive, really is what it's about. Just a quick comment, paid staff people are really, really important to the longevity and sustainability of a nonprofit organization. Yes, the boards are volunteers, but when you have a paid staff person who is dedicating a certain amount of time to doing the functions of the organization, you are much more set up for success. Volunteer-led organizations don't have great track records. I've learned this. I'm a certified association executive, and it's kind of a telltale sign of an organization's demise if there's no paid staff person. So we are so happy to be able to bring that to North Valley Medical Association. And so now we're producing a new magazine called Advancing Health in Northern California. And I'm really excited about that. It's going to represent these 13 counties, sorry, they keep increasing, I'm just kidding. But in addition, I really want Healthy Rural California to create a Health and Human Services Regional Council that would bring all of these, we're not, even though medical societies are very focused on territories, healthcare, our patients, they don't abide by county lines or a hospital's jurisdiction in this particular area. They have to go where the care is provided. And so why don't we create a Health and Human Services Regional Council that's addressing all of these needs in the community? A lot of them are large, long-term infrastructure needs, such as bringing graduate medical education to these communities. So I'm excited about that thought. We haven't quite launched it, but it's another way of strengthening the region, addressing health equity issues. There's a lot of inequity in the North State, and I think that coming together, crossing county lines, jurisdiction lines, territories of hospitals, we need to come together. And I think the 6 disasters in 5 years have proven that time and time again. Fire doesn't care what county line it crosses, right? And so that's my update. There's so much more, I think. It's been a lot, but I think it's moving in a really positive, wonderful direction. And we're just excited as a team, as these 2 teams at Healthy Rural California and Butte-Glenn Medical Society, to really take our strengths and help others, and to strengthen the voice of physicians, but that's also the voice of patients in the area. If you don't have a large healthcare system representing your patients, the advocacy for patient care isn't necessarily there. So this is going to be good stuff for the future. And I do really hope that by Thursday, September 1st, we have our psychiatry residency application submitted. It might very well be at this point in time already in the works, because I know that Lena and Dr. Zwerdling have been working very hard to make that happen. Ted Zwerdling is the DIO for Healthy Rural California, and at this moment in these past few weeks, and he's been doing a lot of work to support the psychiatry application, but amazing. He's just been so focused and dedicated these past few weeks to getting the application in and overcoming technical issues. It's just been amazing. And so I wish you all well. I'll do another update soon because things are moving so quickly. And I'm hopeful that I can have some more clarity on the family medicine residency to share with you. Again, we're just exploring those initial stages and hoping to secure, the best partners possible, because family medicine is so important for our community. And we know that bringing residents in is going to be game changing. I did the math while we flew out here yesterday. So our 2 residency programs at this moment, psychiatry and family medicine, will be bringing 28 residents to the community once they're full, right? For 4 years for psychiatry is 16 residents total. 4 for 3 years for family medicine is 12. So that's 28 residents that we'd be bringing. And over a 10-year period, so in 2027, 2028, both residency programs will graduate their first residents. And our goal is to retain, 50% of those residents. So over 10 years, from 2027, 2028 academic year, and 10 years out, it's possible that 40 of those residents will stay in our community over that 10-year period. That would be a game changer for our community. 20, even like a quarter of the residents staying in the area would be a game changer. So, it was really interesting to do the math while we sat on the plane yesterday, and just really, over $5 million in grant funding has been awarded to this effort, and to Healthy Rural California as well for the other work that we do. And we just got IRS approval in January 2020. So I feel like we're on a good track, and we're doing something that people are supporting financially. So it makes me very proud to give this update and do the math and share that math with you. All right, you all take care. Have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Stay safe, and we will give an update soon. Ciao.